All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Skill Up Show. It's Monday, the 13th. Wow, it's already 13th of May. Welcome to the Skill Up Show. All right, the Skill Up Show is that show where we come and talk about parenting issues. We want to equip parents, we want to support parents, and we want to help parents begin to look into much more than the basics when it comes to parenting. Because we know that every parent has got a superpower, just the way we say children have got superpowers. We know that parents also have superpowers, and we know that with this superpower, our children, we can guide our children, we can support our children to be everything that God has created them to be. My name is Maribel Chima, and I am the founder of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy and PTM Resources. I am also the proud matron of the Mastermind Circle, a peer mentorship and accountability group that we run for young children and preteens. The goal of the Mastermind Circle is to equip young children and preteens to take the front stage in their own lives. We want these young children to understand that there is so much that they have within, there is so much that God has placed within them, that if they can begin to connect to all that they have within, all right, if they can begin to connect early, then they are on their way to living the life that God has created them to live in the life that is not just fulfilling, but a life that is impactful. If you are here today, why don't you say something in the comments so that we know that we've got company? All right, the Skill Up Show holds every Monday at 1 p.m. So, yes, if you are here, let us know in the comment section that you have joined us, and let us know where you are joining from. If you are watching this on YouTube, then why don't you go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel? It's a robust community that is packed with resources. Yes, resources that can help you, especially if you are a parent of a young child, a toddler, or a preteen. We have resources packed for parents of young children because we understand that at the moment we have the foundation and the foundation is right, everything will fall in place. I really need to know if you can hear me and you can see me right now, okay, especially on YouTube. I need to know because I'm using a new device altogether. So I need to know, and I would um, yes, a totally new device, and I would like to have some feedback on whether you can actually hear me right now. Sorry, my network is a bit, why? How can I have network showing here and it's not there? All right, so my network is a bit shaky. So yes, if you can see me and you can hear me, I would like to have feedback on that one. All right, so in the meantime, I'm just going to assume that you can until someone comes up to say that they cannot. All right, so today we're looking at how we can harness our superpowers as parents. Yes, how as parents we can harness our own superpowers to raise champions or to raise wholesome children. Okay, so I know that this is not something that is very common. We are always looking at how we can help our children find out their strength, how we can help our children find their superpowers, how we can support our children. Okay, so this is it. It's always, the kind of conversations that we have when we come here, especially on parenting platforms. It's always about the children, the children, the children. All right, so how about we stop today and look at ourselves, okay? Because as much as you want your child to be proud of you, as much as we want to be proud of our children, have we ever thought that our children may want to be proud of us too? Do you know that your child wants to be proud of you too? All right, so what are you doing, dear parents? What is it about you that you've discovered that you have, that you are, that your child will be proud of? And how can you use that power, that superpower, to begin to equip your child or to empower your child? I'm going to wait here for you to see if anyone can give me feedback, because I need to know that you can hear me and you can see me. Now, if you are on Facebook, okay, and you're watching right now, Slow connection. Oh, wow. All right. So if you're on Facebook also and you're watching right now, do let me know also. Sorry, just give me a second now. Let me see what the challenge could be. Just okay. So if you're on Facebook right now, okay, why don't you also let me know that you can? Sorry about this. My network is a bit glitchy, and I would like to do something about it. Sorry, 1 second, please. All right. Okay, so as I said, I would like to know if you can see me, you can hear me. That feedback would do me a lot of good. Okay, I was actually talking about if we ever wondered that our children would also like to be proud of us, that our children would also like to be proud of us the way we want to be proud of them as parents, right? So if you think about that, then you probably will be on a journey to searching inward to see what your own superpowers are. All right, so sorry, my voice is a bit cracked. We just finished the conference, and I think I probably talked a lot throughout the weekend. I don't know what it is, but my voice is cracked. Okay, but I hope it's not affecting anything here. Okay, I'm not even sounding like myself to myself, so I can imagine what I sound like to you. All right, so yes, dear parents, as we're usually engrossed in our children and our children becoming, and many of us forget that our children want us to also become. All right, now the question is, while you are trying to help your child fulfill their purpose, you're trying to help your child find out what God's plans are for them, have you ever thought that you could actually do the same, and that by doing this you might just be helping, or you might just be equipping your child? Okay, do you know that your superpower can be a blessing to your child? Do you know that just pursuing your superpower can be, oh dear, just pursuing your own superpower can be the reason why your child is able to reach their full potential? Do you also know, dear parents, that having children is not a call to drop your own life and pick the life of another person? Because we've seen cases of parents who talk about this and talk about it from a place of pride, how they had to drop everything to make sure that their children have a life. I really don't think that this is what God has called us to when He decided to make us parents, or decided to bless us as parents. I don't think so. I don't think that God wanted us to lay down our lives so that our children can become, because it is possible that we are becoming simultaneously. It's possible that as the children are becoming, we are equally becoming as parents. So if that is possible, then why would we want to drop our own lives so that our children can become? So that's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to encourage you, and I want to point you to the fact that you can actually look within and see your own superpower and still live your dream, and still be more, and still be extra, and yet raise the most abundant and the most equipped children. So yes, no, you are not called to drop your life so that your children can become, because we hear this every time. Okay, do you also know, dear parents, that you can transform? When you can transform your journey or transform your own life, you become a hero, and your whole journey with your children becomes some sort of a heroic adventure. You can actually enjoy all of this, and you can actually put all of this into your parenting. So how about creating plans, right? How about sitting down, thinking about it, and looking at what is it in what superpowers do I have, and how can I harness these superpowers in a way that I can incorporate it into the journey into my parenting journey, such that my children can benefit from this. A lot of us are great at the things that we do. Yes, we are amazing at the things that we do, especially at our jobs, the things that we do outside our home. Has it ever occurred to you that your child will probably never meet that part of you, never meet that savior that you are in your workplace, never meet that person that everybody is talking about in the workplace, right? That person that everybody is talking about, in your industry. You can actually be a superpower, a captain of your industry. You can be the one that has broken all kinds of boundaries at your workplace, and yet all that your child knows that you are is the mommy who wears the stilettos and goes out in the morning and comes back in the evening. They don't get to benefit from this robust part of your life. All your child will get to know is that you are the daddy who takes his laptop and his car keys and drives out of the house. So the world is experiencing you, the world is enjoying you, the world is benefiting from the gifts that God has bestowed upon you. And yet your child only knows the person who comes and asks, have you done your homework? The person who asks, have you shut the door? The one that is always instructing and questioning and scolding. How about stopping to think about this? So, dear parent, do you have a superpower that you want to harness, a superpower that you want to dive into, and create a plan around that superpower to equip your child, to bond with your child, to bring your child to the place where they can begin to share in that superpower so they can be amazing as you are amazing. Okay, we'll be looking at a few examples of people who have done well with this, principle, if you want to call it. Okay, we will look a bit at some of those people. Do you know that when you intentionally begin to create this kind of plans, when you intentionally begin to look and act this way, do you know that there are special, there are certain part of your children's life that you would actually equip them in? Okay, I'm going to be sharing a few of those parts of their life that you will be equipping them in just because you decided to share a part of you that ordinarily they wouldn't see. Okay, because you decided to be visionary enough to be exceptional. Okay, at the parents roundtable during the conference, one of our panelists actually said, if some of us can stop and realize that parenting alone as it is a call to leadership, and then every leader is supposed to be visionary. So parenting is a visionary journey, and then the best leaders are the leaders who have plans. The best leaders are the leaders who carry their followers along. The best leaders are the leaders whose lives are exemplary. The best leaders are the leaders that a bit of them can be represented in all of their followers or all those who they mentor. We tell our children every time, oh, remember the child of who you are. Do they know who you are? Remember the family that you are from. What family is it exactly? Our family name cannot be dragged in error. How is your name different from the regular Tunde or Bayo or Chukwemeka? How is it different? What is it that makes your family name heavy? Apart from the fact that your ancestors this or that. Your ancestors, they are not. So, dear parents, when you live, the way you refer to your ancestors, the way you refer to the great people before you, will your children be able to take your name? And by just opening their mouth to call your name, will there be a legacy that follows that name? That's what we are talking about here today. If parenting has not changed you, if your parenting, the fact that you became a parent, if that didn't or hasn't changed you in any way, then you need to go back to the drawing board. There is something wrong. The fact that God decided to bless you and put another human being in your hand, if that did not alter some of what you used to be or some of what you used to do, you didn't get to the point where you say to yourself, okay, I would have done this, but now I'm a parent. I can't do this. I would have done this, but what if my children see it? I would have done this, but what if my children hear it? Because if you have not understood yet that as a parent, you are a custodian of destinies, you have the destiny of your children in your hands. You can make or you can mar them. If you don't understand this, then there is a challenge there. We want to start looking at this. I said to the parents yesterday, at the end of our conference, I said, do you know? We said the theme of the conference is the future is bright. I'm sure every parent in their head, oh yeah, the children's future is bright. I said, no, you are the future. You, dear parents, you are your child's future. Because the truth about it, the mistakes that you make during the phase where they are dependent on you will determine how well they are able to, create, what kind of foundation is created for them today for that future that is bright that we're looking at. You can actually abuse your child and then that future doesn't seem that bright. You can actually create a mess for your child and that future doesn't become bright. Okay, you can actually mess your child's mindset, and that future is not as bright as it should be. You can actually give your child the wrong perspective to life, and that future doesn't end up being that great. But then again, because a lot of times we are so entitled as parents, we feel because it's my child, I will do as it suits me. Most times, coming from our own ego or coming from our own place of satisfaction. The moment it is okay for me, automatically it should be okay for everybody. The moment it is fine for me, it should be fine for everybody. No, if parenting has not brought you to the point where you are able to step aside and look at the people that God has placed in your hands, because I believe very strongly that when we come before God on judgment throne, the first question he is likely going to ask us is going to be, what did you do with the gift that I placed in your hands? Okay, and I don't know about you, okay, I consider my children one of my greatest gifts, isn't it? So if God has placed the whole human being and has decided that you should co-create this human being, why then do you not think that if you position yourself to use every gift that you have, every talent that you have, and program it such that your children benefit from it, that wouldn't be something that God will look at you someday, okay, and say, come to my right hand, you just and faithful servants. All right. So these are the things that we're looking at. Do you know, as I said, I was going to share this. If when you decide to build your own, superpower, you decide to build what it is that you have, the strength that you have, okay, the abilities that you have. The moment you decide that you're going to do this is one of the things that will happen. You become more conscious. That's it. You become more intentional, because now it dawns on you that you are a model. So the moment we know, okay, or we accept the fact that we are models, what it means is we begin to act in ways that are worthy, we begin to act in ways that can equip the people that we're modeling to. So that's why I said parenting must change you, should change you. If it hasn't, there's a problem. Because what happens is the moment you become a parent, you realize that you are a model, you are a mentor. So at every point you are concerned, right? Or at every point, it is obvious to you that someone is learning from you. So the things you do knowing that someone may be replicating. The things you do or the things you say knowing that someone may be drawing their strength from you, not me. Someone will be. Sorry, this other network is really, my network here is really bad. Let me just take this. Okay. So whatever it is you do, knowing that someone is watching, someone is listening, someone is following, someone will replicate. So just knowing this is enough for you to begin to do the right thing. So that's what I mean when I said your parenting, okay, will change you. The fact that you are a parent will change you. The fact that you decide to harness your superpower, the talent, the skills that you have. The fact that you decide to harness this because you want to, use it to to empower your children, that on its own will change you or would make you a better person. And the moment you start doing this, you realize that you start building confidence in your children. Yes. When our children work with us, when our children know that they have our attention, when our children know that we are going out of our way to be present. Have you seen, especially fathers, this is for you. Have you seen a father that is very involved in their children's life? Not just involved in, like, okay, you're around, you buy them stuff every once in a while, and no, involved in like their everyday life, involved in their purpose, involved in their academics, involved in their social life, involved in every aspect of their life. When you see that kind of father, I'm telling you, the bond is usually extraordinary. The bond between that father and his children is usually extraordinary. The relationship between this father and their children is always enviable when you see a father who is that involved. What does it tell you? It tells you that the bond or the relationships that we have with our children are not automatic. They come from how much we have invested into it. And do you know this is a great way, right, to create some sort of a template or a pattern that you can use to create a bond with your children without having to think all the time, oh, what am I going to do now? Or what do I do now? So it's very, very key. The more our children know that they have us, the more that they know that we are interested in the things that they are doing, the more committed they are to those things, especially for fathers. If you know the superpowers that you have as a father, you will not be wasting it. All right. So your children become confident, knowing every time a child achieves a thing. I hope you know that every time a child achieves something, there is a bolt of confidence that the child gains. So I'm talking even for your toddler. Do you know every time that your crawling toddler falls and is able to get up on his own, do you know that there's a dose of confidence that is pushed into that child? Every time your 5-year-old laces his shoes and you build and you're like, oh, wow, amazing. Do you know that there is an extra pump of confidence that is pushed into that child? Do you know that every time your 10-year-old solves that math problem that you helped them, to understand the concept, there is a fresh pumping, of confidence right there. Every time your child is able to build that thing or build that's a kite or that boat or that fan that you taught them how to do, the simple fact that you were involved, you were the one that taught them, and they were able to achieve it on their own. If you know the kind of confidence, it is this series of confidence that comes from winning and being a champion that helps your child become that super confident child. So, yes, you can have a child that you are not involved in their lives and they are winning every now and then here, they're on their own. I tell you, the confidence that that kind of child will have and the confidence that a child whose parent is involved in the matter will have cannot be compared. It can't be likened. They are two different kinds. Every time you find a girl child that is bold, assertive, and unafraid of mistakes, I promise you, look, there is a father that was involved in her life. There is definitely a father that was involved. So the more we start looking at a father figure, when I say father, I don't necessarily mean that it has to be a biological father. There is some father figure. Okay, it's not something to argue about or fight about their mothers. It is a gift. It is something that God has destined. That's how He made it. That's how He made it. So very, very key. So when we focus on our superpowers and begin to use it, in working with our children or equipping our children become resilient. Yes, they become resilient. Do you know that ordinary ordinarily a child's attention span is short. I don't care. I'm talking about your 2-year-old as much as I'm talking about your 14-year-old. Their attention span or their ability to stretch themselves is not anywhere close to yours. But every time you are with them in an activity and you are doing it, and that activity is bringing a sense of satisfaction, your child loses track of time. The mere fact that this activity is with money or this activity is with daddy and then it is fun, they totally lose track of time. That is this kind of activity is one way to actually take them, away from their screens, their iPads, their TV, and all of that also. Because replacing the iPad or the screen with a father, with a father being there, playing games with them, okay, or doing something with them is enough reward for your child. The dopamine is more, as in the joy is actually more for your child. So if you are not harnessing the power, the natural power that you have by virtue of being a parent, this one, the natural power, okay, or the natural gift, all right, that you have by virtue of just being their parents, if you're not harnessing this, then today I need you to start looking at it, especially for you fathers. If as a father you are not harnessing that natural gift of just simply being present in the moment with your children, playing with your children, hanging out with your children, popping in their room and sitting with them for a few minutes and having a chat, you are not asking them about their friends, like specifically calling names. You are not doing all of that. There's a lot that you're leaving on the table. Dear fathers, fatherhood is much more than just school fees and clothes. It's much more. We understand that you are busy, but these children will live their childhood only once. According to Kamsi, our first speaker at the Mastermind Conference, he said that we only get to live life once. There are no redos or over. I don't know how he put it. We don't get to redo certain phases in our lives. So while you are busy saving the world, while you are busy making ends meet, while you are busy trying to fend for the family, while you are busy doing all of that, your children are growing. Your children are growing. This is why they don't know you. I like the way who said that even. How that's why they okay guys in the inner circle where I belong. Then they say that's why fathers get schnapped when they are coming to visit you. Because they don't know what else to do. They don't know you. And so when they are coming, they bring a bottle of shayo, they bring a bottle of drink to give you because they don't know what to give you. Because no, you are not present in that way. So, dear parents, we need to look at this. When you make time to use the gifts that you have, okay, to become a blessing to your children, you help them become skilled. Yes, you help them become skilled. Do you know what you'll be doing to your 13-year-old son when on Saturday you go out with him and you wash the car together? Do you know what you'll be doing to your 10-year-old daughter when on Saturday you decide to do groceries together? When you decide to plan together, plan everything. She does, all the writing, and then you decide you want to wear matching tops, and then you go out, you gist while you're at it, stop to have a drink together, then go shopping. And do you know what you're doing to that child? Do you know the bond? Do you know the blessing? Do you know how you're equipping the child? The other day, a few months back, my daughter, she's 8. I was going to the bush market. Like I was going to, you're in Abuja, I was going to Orange Market that day. And, for some reason, she just said she wanted to come because, of course, her brother goes with me, every now and then. So for some reason, she said she wanted to come. Sorry about this. Just give me. Sorry. Ruth, please. Ruth, please, you can just turn on. I'm so sorry about this. I'm sure you noticed there was a power cut. Sorry about this. All right, sorry about this. There was a power cut. Yes, Ruth. There was a power cut. I'm sorry. Sorry about this. There was a power cut and just turn. Let them just turn. All right, so sorry about this. There was a power cut and don't worry, you can just turn on. I've already turned off my camera. Yes. I'm so sorry about this. Sorry, just give me a minute and I will sort this out. Ruth, so sorry about this, but I think we continue. Let's just continue. All right. So I was telling the story, right? I was telling the story about my 8-year-old and how she decided that she was going to come shopping with me in the bush market, like like really local markets where you have mud and you have all kinds. It's just not organized at all. It's a local like bush market and all of that. So she decided she was going to come. And I mean, I will not discourage you when you decide to stretch yourself. Why should I? All right. So, of course, I'm like, okay, so I want her, I give her an idea of what it's like, there. And she said, oh, she wants to come and all of that. So, as far as I was concerned, she was ready to stretch herself. And so, yes, we left, we went, and all that. And I saw her go around with me in that market that day for 3 4 hours. There's no way, there's no way in the world that she would have done that on her own, right? Sorry about that. Thank you. Sorry about that. So there's no way in the world that she would have done that on her own or would have stretched herself that much, right? But hey, but all I had to do was make sure that the whole adventure was fun, right? That's my job. So my job at that point is to make sure that the adventure is fun. That's why I say that you can actually turn, your superpower into a heroic adventure for you and your children. Very, very key. All right, so you help your children build confidence, you will help them become resilient, and of course, you will help your children become skilled. All right, you will help them become skilled because whatever it is that you're doing, your children are going to be learning firsthand from you. And when children learn firsthand from us, what happens? It means that they can learn in the most authentic way, especially if this learning begins early. When it starts early, then the children get to learn in the most authentic way. They get to learn at a time where learning is easy for them, as a time where they do not have to stress. They do not have to stress to learn. So that's it. So let's look at a few examples of children that their parents have knowingly or unknowingly used their skills or their talents to be a blessing to those children, right? The other day, I shared a story of Beyonce, okay, talking about her mother and how her mother sewed all the clothes that they wore as Destiny's, when Destiny Child started. Okay, so of course you know Beyonce. Okay, you should know all these people. Your children know them. You should know them. Okay, knowledge is key. All right. So yes, so Beyonce, you should know them. If you know her, you should know Beyonce, right? If you are from this generation. All right. So according to Beyonce, her mother had gone to a Catholic school. Her mother needed to go to a Catholic school at the time, and of course we know how back, in America to go to schools other than private schools can be right expensive. So her grandmother couldn't afford the school fees for her mother. But her grandmother could sew. Her grandmother could sew, and so what did she do? Her grandmother had to sew for the priests and the nuns and the uniforms of the children in order for her daughter to get a scholarship or for her daughter to go to school. So basically, she did a retainership with this institute or with this institution, basically, just for her daughter to go to school. So what happened is her daughter also learned firsthand from her mother how to sew. So now you will see this mother is making a sacrifice, but this mother didn't have to leave her life or abandon her life, right, to make that sacrifice. And in that sacrifice, she was able to, or in that skill, she was able to use it to harness her parenting. All right, she was able to harness it, right, to raise her child. So when Beyonce and her group started Destiny's Child, according to her, they couldn't get, they couldn't get, high brand, companies to make costumes for them, and they were not rich enough, right, to get, costumes, right, from coutures and all of that. So what did they do? Her mom went back and started making their costumes for them because she could. So that's a typical case of a parent who has used the superpower that she has, right, as a means in her parenting. Very important. I hear Ronaldo is doing the same thing because I hear that Ronaldo Jr., his first son, I think, is actually following in his footsteps. There is no way, there is no way that the father wouldn't have applied himself. There is no way the father wouldn't have used this superpower that he has. There is no way he wouldn't have tailored it to help his child benefit from it. Because I heard the child is really, really good. So it's not about your father is Ronaldo, and that's the reason why people are giving you attention. They actually say he is actually very, very, he's really, really good. So that's it. Okay, there's a Nigerian fashion brand, Vicky James, right? It's the same thing. Vicky tells her story, okay, of how she had gone to school and she had her issues in school. At some point, she had to drop out from school and all of that. And she didn't know what it is in her life that she was going to turn to. But hey, her mother's always sewn. Her mother's a tailor, so of course she would do a bit of stitch here for her mom. She would do that for her mom, and then she would make her own clothes. She would sew clothes for herself, and all of that. And so when the time came in her life where she had to make a major decision, okay, that decision, I'm sure, if you go back to her, there will be some strong reasons why she had to. At a point in her life, when she had to make that decision, she fell back, right, at something, a superpower that her mom has used in the past in raising her. As I said, could have been deliberate or not. But that's why we are intentional parents. We don't allow life happen to us. We create plans. We plan things out so that we can happen to life. We don't allow life happen to us. So some of these parents could have done it knowingly or unknowingly. It could have happened knowingly or unknowingly. But hey, bottom line is they were able to harness their talents and use it to be a blessing to their children. So this is very profound. It's very key. Very profound. All right. So we've had cases like that. I talked in the last session. I said, funny enough, it's not just thinking. That's what, the apprenticeship system from way back. That's what it was about. We heard that Jesus was called the carpenter because, of course, his father was a carpenter, isn't it? When Moses went to Jethro, what was he doing? He was tending to his sheep, isn't it? Because that is what the Israelites do, isn't it? So basically, if we can begin to look at our own superpowers, what is it that we do? How is it that we do these things? And we can draft our children into, by using it as as a framework basically in our parenting or in some part of our parenting. We just hosted the Mastermind Children's Annual Conference, right, for 2024, the third edition. And in that conference, if you attended, you would see that my 14-year-old son was as busy as I was during that conference. If you were at that conference, you would notice that there was no obligation. You will notice there was no dragging him in. You will tell that he was having fun. You would tell that he was involved in the moment. He was involved in that conference as much as I was involved. You can tell. If anyone here was at that conference, all right, just say, let me know in the comments if you know what I'm talking about or if you understand what I'm talking about. That is because I don't have to. I mean, this is what I do. I'm here creating courses, creating, classes and all of that. I don't have to say to him, drag your seat and sit. This is how I create courses or this is how I create classes. No, I don't have to do that. Neither do I have to say, drag your seat and sit. You have to attend all my classes. No, my classes are for adults, not for children, all right? Like this one. So he doesn't have to. So if he's attending on any of my classes, probably in the mastermind circle, all right, where I am delivering a class to the partners that he happens to be one. That's about it. But simply because, right, this is my superpower that is right in front of him, and I am using deliberately or intentionally to raise them, right? Deliberately or intentionally. So, how do I do this with them? It's simple. Sometimes I am like, what do you think I should be teaching today? Or sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm teaching, this is the theme for this month for me. Can you come up with topics for me, as in from a child's perspective? Sometimes I create stuff and I'm like, can you come and see and tell me if it's fine? Sometimes, and then of course, I would say to him, oh, what are the skills you want to learn right now and all of that? And he's like, oh, he's doing graphics design and all of that. And I'm like, oh, think about this one. Do you think you would want to look at that also? And he's like, okay, yeah, sounds interesting. And then he looks at it and then he learns it, and it's something that can help me with what I do. So basically, I am, they don't have to. I have my 8-year-old that isn't doing any of these things. But there's no one who suggests the topic better than my 8-year-old. There is no one who decides how you should look better than my 8-year-old. Every picture you see, there's no one who takes on, activities and takes on roles for herself like my 8-year-old. In fact, this conference, she said to me, Mommy, I'm not going to be attending the conference, like sitting in front of my computer most times, because I want to be your photographer. That's what she said to me. And so every picture you see from the conference, right, any picture that you can tell was taken in the studio was her, because she has reached the point where she understands that it is part of what I do, that while at it, we're going to take pictures, and all of that. So I can actually say to her, I'm going live, or she sees me getting dressed up, she sees certain activity and she's like, are you going live today? And I'm like, yeah, I am. I have a class in 30 minutes. And she's like, I'll set up for you. She can actually come in here, turn on the ring light, come in here, go to StreamYard, log into StreamYard, and say to me, your meeting is set, especially if it's one that's already scheduled. She can actually say, your meeting is set and I've put you inside the studio. All you need to do now is start. Now, whether or not, do you get? That's what I'm talking about. So there is a way that you can structure, and this doesn't only have to be if you work from home. You can work outside home and your child is, whatever it is. Some of us are like the most, what do you call it? The most enviable, let me use that word, enviable business people. Right? Some of us have all the business concepts in the world, yet our children are not learning a single thing from us. Some of us are the best salesmen that you can think of, yet our children are not learning anything from us. Some of us are IT gurus, mado, yet our children are not learning anything from us. Some of us are the best public speakers and all of that, yet our children cannot do a simple presentation to their classmates, the same classmates that they play in the playground with. They can, when you just say, okay, it is no more play, it is now a presentation, they can't stand to save themselves. So until you decide that, oh, I could use my superpower, and I could use my superpower to actually be a blessing to my child. That's what we're talking about. Some of us are the most sought after lawyers and bankers and engineers and architects and all of that. Yes, your child doesn't know five vocabulary from what you do. Your children cannot tell the difference between a crane. Yes, you're a builder. They can't tell the difference between anything. They don't know nothing in the field. In fact, some of our children do not even know what we do. They don't know what we do. Like, they don't know. They see us take our bags and go to work every day and we come back. But if you sit them down and really ask them, what does your parents do? They don't know. What do your parents do? They don't know. So I'm not saying draft your children, bring your children and let them begin to do the business that you do. What I'm saying is there is a way you can use what you do to be a blessing to your children by giving them an idea of what you do and using what you do as a means to equipping them, okay, as a means to teaching them, as a means to, stepping down certain skills to your child, right? So you could actually have a case and you could say to your child, brainstorm with me, okay? Brainstorm with me. What do you think? What would you do given the situation? You can actually have a pitch and you can say to the child, okay, put this part together for me. What do you think? You can actually have a meeting with a client and say to your child, all right, draft something, what that meeting, the agenda should be. It could be anything. Or you could actually finish doing a job and actually ask your children to look at it and criticize it. Just bring them into that space where they can be relevant and they can have a peek into your superpowers. And if it is a more practical one, like probably what I do, if it's a more practical one, then you can get them to be a part of some of it. If it's a more practical one, like you have a supermarket and all of that, they should come in there and not just, they should come in here and see how the accounts run. They should come in there and work during the holiday and work in one department or the next department, or show up around. They should not just understand the basics. Give them an idea into, the serious things. And you do not have to drag them into it. You don't. Okay? You don't have to drag them into it. You have to make it appealing enough for them to be interested in the things that you do. And I remember, I have not said draft them into this so that your children will take over from you. I didn't say that. I said use it as a means to equipping your children. And when you do this, your children will build accompaniment skills like resilience, skills, confidence, and much more. So you can use what you have. And of course, they could become more knowledgeable in that area of expertise. That's it. For knowledge's sake, we cannot have enough of knowledge, isn't it? All right. So I'm going to share with you 7 ways. All right. Okay, I'm going to share with you 7 things that you should put in place if you want to do this, if you want to use your superpower as a base point for teaching your children skills, as a base point for equipping your children, okay, as a base point for helping your children become champions, okay? So number 1 is promote you, right? Promote you. Be good, right? Or how do I put it? Promote you, basically. Promote your business, promote your brand. Let your children see you take your business seriously. Let them see you take your brand seriously. Let them see that you are proud of you. You are proud of your brand. You are proud of your profession. You are proud of your job. You are proud of the things that they do. Let your children not learn lackadaisical attitude from you by virtue of the way that you attend to your job or to your business. Let your children not learn to be people who don't show up just because you don't show up, and they can tell and they can see based on what it is that you do or you model that they are watching and seeing. So I also author books and I write books for children. Do you know that every time I write a book, I'm telling you the contribution to my, I mean, in my book, my children, at least my kids have at least 30 to 40% contribution in the books that I write. A lot of time I write and it is our kids, it's the children, and I mean my 14 and 8-year olds. They are the ones who would actually, go through the manuscript and say to me, Mom, I don't like it. And because we do this, or because I do this with them, I have equipped them to be what's the word? I've equipped them to be frank about their criticism and be objective about their criticism. So I have been able to equip them to be frank. So no, it's not every time I write that the children say to me, beautiful. No, it's not. There are times I write and my son will be like, it doesn't sound like something that a 10-year-old will enjoy. That's what he says. And my daughter will be like, I don't know, I just hate this character. She'll actually say, I don't know, I just hate this character. So because they do that, for me, this is first-hand feedback because, yeah, they're children and I'm writing for like them. Right. And then sometimes they read and be like, they'll actually be like, whoa, do you know what? Did you notice I couldn't even drop it till I finished? It's nice, it's fun. And that's all the feedback that I need. Anything any other person will say, they're on their own. I'm done. Do you understand? But then again, I've been able to equip them to be truthful with their feedback. Been able to equip them to not they don't say things to make me happy. They say it the way they feel, right? And even if I had to change certain things, I remember what was it? What was it recently? Okay, yeah, there was a time. Yes, so it was the masterpiece, right? I belong to a vibrant, mentorship program and all of that. And at some point, we were going to make some choices, right, for t-shirts, and all of that we're going to use, for a part of our program. And I had said to my daughter, we're sitting together when that's I got the post or the message. And I turned to her and I said, what do you think? White or green? And she looked and looked and looked and she's like, and she gave me reasons. She gave me reasons for her choices. Mom, you like this and that and that and that. And she says, I think you should go with a particular color. She chose, you know. So eventually I didn't go with it, right? Not necessarily, not me. I actually went with the color, but eventually it was decided that we're going to go with one. And I had to come back to her to make her understand why it had to be different. And she's like, oh, okay, that yeah, it makes sense, and all of that. Just so that I show her that okay, I respect your opinions. So sometimes our children, a lot of us will ask children, they can't give you anything. It's because you have not equipped them and you have not taught them how to make informed choices. So you see children and you're asking them, what would you like to eat? Anything. What would you anything? And I say, if I wanted to give you anything, I would have given you. So if I'm going to take the energy, the time, to ask you what, it means I need you to make a choice. Help me with this. But some of us are just comfortable with this. You ask people, what do you think? I don't know anything. Most times it is rooted. It is rooted in your childhood. A lot of adults cannot. A lot of adults cannot give you an opinion, all right, outside themselves. They can't give you an opinion. What do you think about it? Yeah, anyone is okay. No, no, no. Most times it's rooted from your childhood when you were not, put in that space where your opinion mattered, right? So very key. So promote your brand. Let be before them. Talk to them about it. Talk about it. Let them understand. There's nothing I do that the children do not understand what is going on. In fact, they kind of have an idea of our tradition, right? My tradition, I'm talking of my brand now. They know what happens at what time, and all of that. All right. The next one is recognize their individuality. So as much as you want to, guide them, or you want to you want to them to embrace and see what it is that you're into, what you do, and all of that. Do not have at the back of your mind that, oh, they will not come and take over and come and become you. Don't do that. There's no need for that. Okay? According to one of the panelists yesterday, the traditional, he said, your vision should be so big that it can accommodate your child's own vision. So that you have a vision as a family doesn't mean that all of your children will have to do what exactly you want them to do. No, let your vision be so big that right inside that vision, they can find themselves. They can be autonomous. So yes, while you're at ease, do not do it with the mind of you will come and carry over. No, do not do it with the mind that they will be like you. They don't have to be like you. As I said, it becomes a baseline or framework within which you can help your children build many of the skills. Very, very key. Okay, so understand and recognize their individuality. The next one is, dear parents, teach your children through what you do that failure is a part of life. So that's why it's okay. It's okay that they are with you on this journey. They understand a bit of it. I'm not saying drag them into anything that is adult, that is beyond them. No, I'm saying the basic things, that you do and all of that. So there are times that I fail at things even in my business. There are times that I fail in my deliverables. There are times that I fail in my targets. There are times that, on Saturday, I had a challenge, at the conference, right? I had a challenge at the conference and all of that. And, one of the sessions didn't go so well and all of that. The children could empathize with me because they understood, right? And they could see how I failed or made mistakes there, and they could see me bounce back the next time. I talked about it. I like to be vulnerable because in your vulnerability, your children learn that mistakes are not the end of the world, and they know that they have permission, right, to make mistakes. But what they don't have permission for or to do is to bask in that failure and remain there. So they need to see you fail and bounce back so that they understand that they won't be judged when they fail, but there is an expectation, and that expectation is that you bounce back. So when you are harnessing your potential, you are harnessing your superpower, you are helping your children, right, build their character through allowing them, into what you do, allowing them into your process, using what you do and your process to teach them. What you do is you build their character and you teach them that failure is just, right, a stepping stone to winning, isn't it? So it's very, 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 very key. I can't remember how one of the speakers at the mastermind conference said. He said, I can't remember, so let me leave it there. Okay. By the way, you hear me talking about the mastermind conference. The mastermind, if your child, you have children between 7 and 15, and they were not at that conference, they missed. Even you as a parent, you missed. Okay, but the thing, the cool thing is you can still catch replay. Okay, you don't get to enjoy all the extras that we did, but you can still catch replay of the conference. Okay, so you need to go to our YouTube channel, right? Parenting through mentorship. Okay, parenting through mentorship simply, and you are able to see a playlist of the conference and key in there and create a plan to watch those videos with your children one after the other. It will bless you. It will bless you. And the parents the parents roundtable, amazing. It's there only for about 5 days and it will be off, and you have to pay for it after those 5 days. So if I were you, I would go and catch it right now. In fact, did I say 5 days? 3 days rather. It'll be off in 3 days. So you need to go and watch that conference. Amazing, amazing things that happen there. All right. In doing this, embrace failure, right? And then the next one is, when you do this, let there be creativity and innovation in the whole process. That's part of it. Okay, so when you bring your children into what you do, you heard me say, get them into that space where they can advise you, where they can create a part of it, where they can do something about it. Okay, create projects out of what you do, collaborations out of what you do. Very, very key. It's very important. All right. So I guess our son had seen me, do the things that I do with my business at different points. I'm selling one books or the other. And so it makes it easy for him as a business person. He actually runs a small company, a juice and beverage company. So it's easy for him to focus on his business also, because we are both doing our thing side by side, and of course partnering in one way or the other, because I support him in what we do. So that way your child is learning financial education and learning how to, and becoming, financially aware and being aware in entrepreneurial skills. Okay, so by the way, talking about that, we have a course that is coming at the end of this month. Okay, so the whole of last month, we were talking about financial education for children, financial skills. We've done lots and lots of webinars. In fact, we even had a free masterclass for parents. Was it free? Okay, $1 masterclass for parents. Amazing, session that we had at that masterclass. We did all of that. Okay, but we have a huge course that we run for children between 7 and 15. Okay, it is raising the financially smart child. Okay, or raising a child who is financially and entrepreneurial, they're skilled financially and in entrepreneurial area. Basically, I can't remember how we structured the course, but hey, it's a very robust course. Okay, and the course is to help to equip your children to be skilled financially and in entrepreneurial skill. Okay, so the team is going to post the link for that course in the comment section. Okay, post link, you can check for it right now or later after this session, and you'll be able to see what it takes to enroll your child for that course. We've run that course for 3 years. The first year was for parents. Last year we ran for the children, and the children who came to that course went away empowered and equipped and all of that. So why we did the masterclass was because we want, when we finish with the children, you are able to support them and you're able to help them make something out of it. But more than anything is the financial knowledge and mindset, abundance mindset that your child is able to build when they go through that course. Because I hope you know that wealth begins from the mind. So the moment your child has the right mindset about wealth, your child understands what wealth creation is, your child understands the true meaning of wealth, the child begins to understand what you can do, right, to be someone of value, to give out value that people are ready and willing to pay for. So they now understand what it is to start a business, because they understand the place of value, the place of creating solutions and all of that. It is one of the things that I do well. This financial course is one of the things that I love to do, because I believe that children should be equipped, right, to be financially aware and intelligent right from when they are young people. So you may want, you want to enroll your child for that course. All right, the link to making payments or the details that you need will be posted in the comment section, and you can use that. Okay, and then the last one is help your children by creating. When your children learn and you use your superpower, create opportunities for your children to try things out. Create opportunities for them to try things out. Create opportunities for them to collaborate with you. Create opportunities for them to collaborate with other people. Help them use whatever it is that they learn from you. Okay, help them use it, to apply it in what they do. All right. So of course our children see me do a lot of public speaking, more or less, and all of that. So somewhere, if they come home with a script from school, of course they will not be going to daddy, they will be coming to me, because somewhere in their head I am the one who can support them in this. And before you know it, I don't know, knowingly or unknowingly, both of them do well when it comes to public speaking. They do exceptionally well when it comes to public speaking. It's not one of the things that we want to worry about. All right. I don't know, knowingly or unknowingly, because we're all about books. Their father is about books. Their father has been able to model reading to them, model having a library, model the importance of books. So it's very easy for all three of us to follow suit and, embrace and then love embrace, the love of books and all of that. So what are you using? What are your superpowers? I hope you know, if you're someone who loves to read, enjoys reading, that's a superpower also. How are you using it? How are you using it, right, to help your children build character and become champions? The simple fact that you go at the end of every month and buy two books, everybody picks two books, right? Buy two books, or everybody goes to the library once in a week, twice in a week, once in a week, sorry, to pick two books or one book or three books or whatever it is, and you get to read it. That is a system that you have created already as a parent to use your superpower to help your children become champions. Okay, it doesn't always have to be just a business. Okay, it could be in the way how organized you are. You're such an organized person, or you are someone that's into beautiful interiors, and all of that. You know how to prop your ambience and all of that. Why isn't your child learning and harnessing this? Why is your child not learning and using this superpower that you have to become a champion? Okay, your child should be able to learn firsthand from you. So it simply means, in whatever you are doing, make sure that you're exemplary to your children. Make sure that you create a system that allows your children connect with you, work with you, learn from you, using it as a means to helping them build skills, whether those skills are real, actual physical skills, or actual skills that they can use to create physically, or their accompaniment skills that can build their character. All of it is very key on this journey. All right, so if you like to register for that course, all right, just check in the comment section or check in the description on YouTube, and you will see it, and you can use the information to register your child between 7 and 14. Register them for the course, and you will be glad that you did, and they will be glad that you did register them. We're going to have an expert. I'm going to have a financial expert at that course. So the children will be learning a lot about investment. Okay. For some of us, they'll probably learn about investment and come and teach you. All right. So when we do this course, we usually would recommend that after this course, you get your child to do a presentation, and then you get your child to do a pitch for a project that the child would want to carry after the course. So it's part of the curriculum of the course, and it's what we're going to be working with your child on. It's an amazing, amazing course, and it's one that I think every child, right, that is of this age bracket should actually take. All right. So the early bird fee for that course, I think, is about 7K, right? 7,000 naira. Shinkini money, right? Right. Good. And the training is for 3 days. The weekend training. All right. So we have 3 classes of 6 modules that we'll be working with the children. It's huge. It's huge. If nothing else, that they get and they catch this knowledge, I'm telling you, they can't be in the same place with their contemporaries. This is the time to build knowledge. Is this the time to build knowledge and wisdom in your children, parents? Let's use it. I am very big about money. I'm very big about money. I guess that's why I wrote this, right? One of the books I wrote last year. So this one is Young and Money Smart. Yes. So Young and Money Smart, it's an amazing book. It's all about the mind. In this book, I didn't come here to teach your child about how to put money inside Pangolo, how to put money in their piggy bank, as wonderful as that is. Okay, but that's not it. Here, I came for their mind. I wanted them to have the right mindset about money. All right, so the book is, so the course is an extension of what it is. The course is practicals, right? Real practical, of the things that they must have seen, they must have heard, they must have learned theoretically. All right. We have this one also amazing book. All right. This book sold, all copies printed were sold in 1 month, right? In a month, right, or two, we're done with this. Unlocking Excellence is a student's guide to success beyond the classroom. Yes, a student's guide to success beyond the classroom, so that children know that it's not just about the A grades, it's much more than that. So you can get all of our books. This one is 4,000 4,000 naira. If you're buying the two of them, we give it each of them at 380. If you're buying two of them, that's 4,000 naira. All right. We also have our bestseller. So this is my first book, my bestseller. I'm even wearing Bedtime Stories for Champions. All right. So that's Bedtime Stories for Champions. It's a collection of amazing stories of young people who have started creating impact in the world, real life stories, a collection of over 20 stories of young people who have already started creating impact in the world using their talents. And most of the children in this book, it came from my grandma taught me, my mom taught me, my dad taught me. That's what you have there. My father said, my mother said. So this is a book that every family, yes, I mean every family should have in their home. It's 4,000 naira also. And then we have Playtime Stories for Champions. This one is for parents who have young children. All right. Remember, I said something about doing. Your young children need to start doing. When they do, they internalize more. So this one is a great way to play with your children. So it's stories, you tell a story and then create an activity after the story. So it's a story of a little girl and her adventure, and you can have this adventure together. You see, our books are always lovely, nicely printed, beautifully created. All right, so this is also 4,000. And then we have Christmas Stories for Champions. So this one is a collection of stories, right, that adults, especially African parents, have shared with their children about what Christmas was like for them. So you see beautifully illustrated, right? Some people, when they see it, they'll be like, oh, it's about Christmas and Christians. It's not necessarily, all right? It's just simply what Christmas was like in Okigwe, what Christmas was like in Kaduna, what Christmas was like for a child whose brother is in the army, what Christmas was like when you visited the village and there was egungu and also, so you see here there's a masquerade, so you can see there's a Benue masquerade right here, and there was Itigi going on here. And so basically that's what it is. It's not about jingle bells and Aristotle. So it's just that. And then our only parenting book, Mentor Parents. Here we've shared the story of a young parent, right? A young mother, first time mother, and how she was able to navigate balancing work and raising her child, and how she was able to help the child during this dependency phase, all right, first 10 years of their life. Talking about yours truly, my story of how I got into that space of trying to be an intentional parent. Small but mighty book. Okay, if you are a young parent or a parent of toddlers, or you are someone that's about to get married, or you are a young family, you should get Mentor Parent. All right, so these are all of our books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think there's something that is missing here. 3 of these. All right, so these are all our books. Okay, there is the Skillup journal. I think that was missing. So you can get all copies of our books. I think everything here is not even up to 29K. Somewhere there, 27, 28, thereabouts, for all 6 books. So thank you very much, everyone who joined me for today's session. And if you're catching the replay, also let us know, okay, what's you learned from this session, what your takeaways are from this session. And if you want any of our books or our resources, all right, there will be a contact in the comment section or in the description that you can use to contact us. We have distributors in major cities across Nigeria, and our books are on Amazon also, so you can also buy them on Amazon. And we have e-copies of some of these books for those who want to have hard copy from seller. You can get any of these books, right, to equip yourself and equip your children. Thank you for joining us. Would you like to be a part of your child to register for the financial course? Please also use the information. And then, of course, please go catch the replay of the conference. It will bless you, bless your child. And also, thank you very much. Have a fantastic week ahead and enjoy your day. My name is Maribeth Chima, as I said again, and I'm always super, super grateful to be a support of any kind in your parenting journey. I hope you learned something today that you will start applying in your journey. Have a fantastic day. Bye.